Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Matthew. This is Texas Best. And today I wanted to draw your attention to somebody who I feel absolutely does not represent the best of what Texas has to offer. And that would be our illustrious congressional representative coming out of the 28th District, Mr. Henry Cuellar. The reason this popped up on my mind is because recently, as in today, Henry was just pardoned by President Donald Trump. And if you're anything like me, you'll immediately have warning signs and red flags going up all over because President Donald Trump pardons almost exclusively pedophiles, rapists, murderers, and thieves. And so, like I said, you're probably going to fall into one of those categories. What does Henry Cuellar fall under? He's a thief, allegedly. I mean, does the alleged even matter? Because he was just pardoned. So whether or not the alleged is a apt description, he's pardoned. So fucking who cares? But whatever. Let's get into it. So Trump pardoned our representative Henry Cuellar and his wife from a federal bribery and conspiracy case. And so this was brought in on a 2024 indictment. And then in the middle of 2025, two charges were actually dismissed. They were dismissed. Two charges were dismissed at the request of the prosecutors. This request came because the U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi issued a memo narrowing the enforcement of laws relating to foreign lobbying and bribery. So if you remember, Donald Trump went on a whole tirade a little while ago about, other countries get to accept bribes, other countries get to do fraud. Why don't we? It's holding America back. And so at his behest, Pam Bondi has led the charge to get rid of any sort of crimes or legislation that penalizes foreign lobbying and foreign briberies, because now any country and any government can get their little fingers into any municipal pie across the United States of America. Thank you so much for America First, Mr. President. Who do you think happens to be meddling in the 28th Congressional District of Texas? Take a guess. I would never have gotten the answer. I'm sure you might immediately be thinking, oh, AIPAC, Israel. No. The two countries that they were indicted on for, being traitors to. Like, I'm just going to call him a traitor. Like, he sold out his own congressional district for the Azerbaijani government and a Mexican bank. I don't even know where to start with that, man. At least Eric Adams got flown out to Turkey a shit ton. Azerbaijan? What are they giving you, Henry? What could you possibly need from Azerbaijani lobbyists? It makes me want to, like, the Mexican bank, I understand, because it's a bank, so it has to do with money, specifically, and the infrastructure around that. But I was floored the more I looked into it. So let's keep going. The U.S. Department of Justice indicted Cuellar in 2024, accusing him of accepting payments from an Azerbaijan-run oil and gas company laundered through consulting contracts. So, in exchange for the payments, prosecutors said Cuellar worked to advance U.S. policy favorable to the Azerbaijan government, including through defense spending legislation and working to kill legislation seen as favorable to Armenian interests. We are like this weird battlefield between regional rivals, and they're using... You see why it's frustrating, right? I don't know why the congressional district sitting at the suburbs of San Antonio is playing any sort of role in this Azerbaijani-Armeni conflict, but it just is. So that's fun. Henry is like caught up in the middle of it. And the 11th-term congressman was also accused, on top of that, of accepting funds from a commercial Mexican bank while coordinating with a subsidiary of the bank to push through legislation beneficial to the payday lending industry, a type of high-interest loan primarily targeted low-income individuals, like Klarna, payday loans. He was pushing through legislation to make that easier, and the Mexican bank, it doesn't really tell me what bank that was, So, the 11th-term congressman also accused of accepting funds from a commercial Mexican bank while coordinating with a subsidiary of the bank to push through legislation beneficial to the payday lending industry, a type of high-interest loan primarily targeted low-income people, blah, 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 blah. This Mexican bank was interested in payday loans, Klarna, things like that, and so Henry also helped push through legislation to benefit them. So he's benefiting Mexican banks, he's benefiting the Azerbaijan oil companies. What has he done for his constituents? I don't know. Whatever, though, because like Donald Trump and Pam Bondi say, it's no longer legal to be bought and owned by foreign governments. So cool. Two of his political advisors have also already pled guilty to charges that they conspired to launder $200,000 in bribes from the Mexican bank. That's from the Mexican bank. What I have written down is that he was charged with about $600,000 total. So I'm going to guess any missing funds sort of come from the Azerbaijani-run direction. This guy, man, this guy. So let's get into the actual pardon itself. So Trump has argued that this was use of the weaponized justice system, and that the reason Henry Cuellar and his wife were being investigated and indicted and charged was because of Cuellar's outspoken opposition to Joe Biden and his immigration policies. Cuellar is a Democrat, but to be quite honest with you, doesn't really seem like a Democrat coming off of the things he is all in on. He agrees with Republicans when it comes to immigration. He agrees with Republicans when it comes to firearms. It agrees with Republicans when it comes to abortion rights. Like, dude, it seems like you're more over there than, you know what I mean? Like, are you a Democrat? Are you? Because you say you're a Democrat and you seem to be backing up a lot of Republican things while also accepting bribes from foreign governments, which isn't exclusively Republican, but it does seem to affect them the most. And so an important thing that I just think is important to remind you about is that just like every other representative across Texas, that he is up for re-election come November. But if you are a registered Democrat, he's actually being primaried by two other Democratic nominees. That would be Ryan Trevino and Ricardo Villarreal. So if you happen to live in the 28th Congressional District, please educate yourself on Ryan Trevino and Ricardo Villarreal. I haven't. I'm going to do some research into them myself as well. The reason I have started this channel is because Texas is a stronghold for bigotry, racism, and just the worst of the worst. We attract the shit of America. They seem to love Texas and they seem to love Florida because we give them the right to be pieces of shit. We give them the right to cage children and break up families. We give them the right to shoot neighbors who accidentally step onto your property. There's a lot that needs to be changed in Texas. And it starts with getting the fucking cancer out of positions of power. And that means people like Henry Cuellar, people we can't trust anymore. People who have been bought and paid for. He's served 11 terms. He is a lifetime politician. At this point, he is so removed from the life of the everyday man. Get this dude the fuck out. That's all I have to say on that. Jesus, man. Jesus. We got a lot of work to do in Texas, people. We got a lot of work to do. This is the very first video that I'm filming, though. It happened to be the biggest mainstream news about Texas in the headlines. Like I said, I saw the word pardon, I saw the word Trump, and then I saw a Democratic representative, and I'm like, I bet this dude is a real piece of work. And turns out he was. That's all I've got for you today. Please, if I can remind you anything, we have all of our primaries in March. If you are a registered Democrat or Republican, all the primaries are on March. And so I'm going to try and focus in on some of the bigger races. I know we have a Senate race coming up between Cornyn and, what's that piece of shit's name? Who cares? The real awful guy, Ken Paxton. Ken Paxton. We'll talk about him. We'll talk about him. But this is about to be a very, very important year for Texas. And I think we need to start spreading the word. I think we need to start connecting with each other. And that is why I've decided to throw my voice into the race. Like, we need more voices. We just need more voices. That's all I've got. Thank you so much.